All right, let's talk about that feeling. You know the one, that Sunday night dread. Well, what if I told you it might not actually be your fault? In this explainer, we're going to dig into why that is and how a really simple shift in thinking could totally change your work life. Yeah, that feeling. It's so familiar, right? That slow creep of anxiety on a Sunday evening. So many of us just accept it as part of adult life. But what if the real problem isn't the job? What if it's something way deeper? And what if we've been looking for a solution in all the wrong places? This is where the source material we're diving into today just hits you with this really powerful idea. It says, you know what? The problem was never the job itself. It was the mismatch. The mismatch between who you are and what that job is asking of you every single day. So let's get real. If it's not about the title on your business card, or the fancy company logo, or even the salary, then what is it? What's leaving you feeling so drained, even when, you're actually pretty good at your job? Well, the answer seems to have a lot less to do with what you do and everything to do with how you're naturally wired. Okay, so this brings us to a really crucial shift in how we think about work. See, most of us were taught to chase happiness, right? We chase the promotion, the raise, the corner office. But this framework we're looking at suggests there's a much more powerful goal. It's not about chasing happiness, it's about finding alignment. And this is really the core of it all. The happiest, most fulfilled people at work, they're not always the most talented or the best paid. Nope. They're the most aligned. They found a role where their natural way of doing things just fits. It's a job that actually lets them be themselves. And you can feel this difference like in your bones every single day. When you're in an aligned role, the work actually gives you energy. You know that feeling of flow? That's it. But in a misaligned role, oh man, even the simplest tasks can feel like you're wading through concrete because you're constantly fighting against your own grain. And that right there explains so much. It's why taking a vacation doesn't really fix it. Sure, you come back rested, but within a week, that familiar drain is back. Why? Because the mismatch is still sitting there waiting for you. The key takeaway here is you're not lazy, you're not broken. The problem isn't your effort, it's the fit. Okay, so if fit is the secret sauce, then how in the world do you figure out your own wiring? Well, to help with that, the source material breaks it down into 12 distinct worker types. As I go through these, just kind of listen and see if any of them make you go, hey, that sounds like me. First up, you've got the fast worker. For this person, a fast-paced, always changing environment isn't chaos, it's oxygen. They thrive on it. Sticking them in a slow, predictable job, it would feel like torture. Next, we have the authentic type. These folks have like a built-in BS detector. They can spot fakeness from a mile away, and they absolutely need to work in a place where people are genuine and mean what they say. Then there's the agile worker. When they hit a roadblock, they don't see a dead end, they just see an opportunity for a creative detour. For them, change and adapting on the fly, that's not a skill, it's a superpower. Oh, you definitely know a solver. This is the person who looks at a clunky, broken process and just can't help themselves. They're already redesigning it in their head. They're just wired to ask, isn't there a better way to do this? Next is the anticipator. This is your friend who's always thinking 3 steps ahead. They're the ones who see the potential problems before anyone else even knows there's a cloud in the sky. Absolutely invaluable for any kind of strategy. Then you've got the prepared worker. Thank goodness for these people, because they are the reason big projects don't completely implode. For them, a super detailed plan isn't some restrictive cage. It's what gives them the freedom to actually get things done right. Every team needs a self-aware person. Seriously, they have this incredible radar for the vibe in the room. They just know when it's time to push an idea and when it's time to back off and let things simmer. They're the team's emotional intelligence. All right, the curious. For this type, hearing I don't know isn't an endpoint, it's the start of an adventure. They're not just trying to get an answer, they genuinely want to learn, and that leads them to ask the best questions. And then, the connected worker. These are the natural networkers. They just get it. It's not always about what you know, but who you know. And they have this amazing talent for building those relationships and bridges almost without trying. Next, the likable type. This person is the social glue of the office. They have this genuine warmth that just makes people feel seen and valued. They're the ones who turn a bunch of random coworkers into a team that actually likes each other. Then there's the productive worker. This isn't just about being busy. This person is all about getting things done. They have this internal drive to set a high standard for themselves and then just consistently hit it. The results speak for themselves. And finally, number 12, the purpose-driven employee. For this person, the why is everything. Yeah, a paycheck is necessary, but if the work isn't contributing to some kind of mission they believe in, it's just not going to work. For them, meaning is non-negotiable. Okay, so here's the thing. Almost nobody is just one of these. We're usually a combination, right? Maybe you're a solver who is also really curious, or you're a likable person who's also super connected. Understanding your unique mix, that's where the magic happens. That's the real key. So maybe a couple of those types really jumped out at you. The big question is, what do you do with that information now? How do you actually use it? Well, here's a simple 4-step roadmap to turn that insight into real action. So step 1 is just to audit your energy. For the next week or two, just notice what parts of your day give you energy and what parts just completely drain you. Step 2, use that info to name your top 2 types. Step 3, evaluate your current role. How much of your time are you spending in your sweet spot? And that leads to step 4, which is the big choice. Can you reshape your current job to fit you better, or is it maybe time to relocate to a job that already does? And that brings us to the last big idea. And honestly, it might be the most important one of all. It's about giving yourself permission. Permission to stop fighting who you are. Look, knowing your type isn't about putting yourself in a box. It's the exact opposite. It's about understanding the foundation you're building on. When you know your core strengths, you can finally start looking for the place where those strengths can actually shine. Think about it. Has a boss ever told you to be more of something that just doesn't feel natural? Like if you're an agile person who's constantly told to be more consistent, maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe you're not flawed. You're just a round peg in a square hole, designed for a prepared type. See, that's a role problem, not a you problem. Because what if Monday morning didn't have to feel like a punishment? What if it could feel like a fresh start? When you finally find a role that aligns with your natural wiring, you get to stop wasting all that energy trying to be someone you're not. And that's the goal, isn't it? To find a place where your work finally stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like you.